Chris Duffin and Leroy Walker, we are going to do a speed Q&A session on Instagram. We've got 50 or 60 some odd questions on there. We're going to see how many we get through, so please excuse the brevity possibly on some of the questions. But we're going to try to cruise through these and see where we get. So you're going to get to see us stare at our phones a bunch. I may try to speed that up in the posting and the video. So do you want to start at the top or just start with, let's see, let's roll with, I know the question on everybody's mind, and it was answered on here. Is the guy in the red shirt, if you haven't seen it, the video of my epic squat fail that's been viewed over 1 million times in the last 36 hours or since it's been posted. He is still alive. There has no been beating about the head and shoulders. He beat himself up quite enough, so I remained quite calm.
And I got to add to that. When I first saw that, that's before I arrived, and yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I said, holy shit, do I really want this guy to spot me? And then my next thought was, that had to have been staged. And I think I said this, I go, there's no way Chris Duffin is squatting 900 plus pounds without adequate support and locks. But then you did tell me there was locks on there.
Yep.
And I watched, and they disintegrated. They shattered to pieces.
Yep.
And then the way everything kept falling, I thought it was a spoof. And then, we were working out, and you did have, a little bit of repercussions, a little bit of, soreness. So it definitely was real. It was not staged. I will attest to that.
It's very rare that I squat with that heavy with very little spotters, but just that's the way the day rolled, and it didn't work out. So anyway, we'll move on. So opinions on oxygen ozone therapy, we're going to skip over that because we only speak to things that we know about. Neither of us have used that. So
any reason why I should use the shoulder rock every day? I have two different very answers to that. One, I would say the shoulder rock is great for warming up and preventative measures. It works wonders. Should you use it every day? If you have to use it every day, I'm just going to say, it's not that it's a bad product, it's a great product, but I'm going to say you might want to switch something up in your training, because I think the need it every day is more along, like, if you need to go to a chiropractor every day, you might need to get some type of back surgery or something else going on, but once or twice a week, it's understandable.
Yeah.
So my take is once or twice a week, to use it if you're doing upper body or, you have some kinks you want to work out, definitely a great tool.
Yeah. The question is there any reason you shouldn't? No, there's no reason that you shouldn't. I know there's a lot of people that use it daily just because they like it, and there's no issue with that whatsoever.
Go ahead and ask it. I'll answer it.
Okay. You want me to ask it?
Yeah, we'll just go through as many as we can.
Whatever happened with you and the Hulk?
The Hulk. Who's that?
No, I don't know.
Does he lift?
Never seen anything.
Does he compete?
No.
Oh, the 700-pound bencher.
Oh,
that guy.
Yeah.
But did he do it this year?
No.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Next question.
What other type of training is done besides bench training, and how does it differ?
That's a question that we'd have to answer later. There is a lot of other training. I get this a lot. Do you do squats? Do you do lifts? Yes. Do I do them to a level that I can compete at? No, because right now I compete about 5 to 6 times a year. Therefore, my bench training cycles only leave me about 1 to 1.5 months off, sometimes shorter than that. So I'm the type of person, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to compete and not do it half-assed. So yes, I do other lifts. I just don't post them, and I don't choose to compete in them because I don't do them to the level I feel comfortable at stepping on the platform.
Yeah. Leroy does a lot of incline work for his bench. Is that more beneficial than flat bench or just preference?
Once again, I do a ton of incline work. Let me rephrase that. You see a ton of incline work. I do a ton of, like, Mondays is a heavy day for me. I'll go heavy or I'll go high volume during the day. Ton of flat work. I just don't post it. It's one of those things where I wanted to kind of have a niche. I wanted to kind of be different. Everybody posts flat bench. Everybody posts squats. Everybody posts deadlifts. Not a lot of people post incline. So I said, I'm going to be the incline guy. And it's something that I've learned to do a little bit more as I've gotten older because it helps. It's preventative for shoulder injuries. It helps me keep my explosiveness in my tuck position. So, yes, I do a lot of flat. I just don't post a lot of flat. Therefore, you don't see a lot of flat. But I think it has a huge carryover effect as far as the explosiveness and as far as the tuck. Are there things I can do better on my flat? Yes, because I'm constantly trying to evolve and get better in that area.
What kind of back training do you do?
Back training, I do more, I do deadlifts, light deadlifts. I do rows, and I do a lot of lat pulls and stuff like that. I don't do a lot of dumbbell rows. And I don't do a lot of stuff, good morning. I don't do, like, it comes down to what we talked about in the last segment, risk reward.
Yeah.
If it's something that's not going to put my back at risk, basically I'm not going to go out there and deadlift 700 pounds to develop a stronger back to help my bench when, deadlifting super, super heavy weight is going to put me more at risk for injury. Therefore, I can't go out there and bench. So it all comes down to I do movements based on risk reward.
Okay. Press in a straight line or curve?
Straight line. I think curve is more, it depends on whether, that's a different kind of question. Are you a shirted or are you, are raw? If you're raw, I definitely think straight line because you want the bar to travel in a straight line to take the path of least resistance.
What's your next big goal?
I'd say my next big goal, actually, believe it or not, after doing some little bit of soul searching, I'm not gonna try to go Dr. Phil, super philosophical on this, but I think my next big goal is to transition from just being a good bench presser to a great, but more so just finding the right medium, the right platform to give back in a positive and a constructive way. There's some people they do it through, online. Some people hold seminars. I want to try to find, and this is a hint, you'll hear Chris talk about this more. He's got some great things coming up in the works that I definitely want to be a part of. I want to find a way to give back because I'm finding as you start to become at a higher level, no matter what weight class you're in, if you're not helping give back to the sport, if you're not helping create competition in a sense, you're just going to get stuck in a lot of meets by yourself. I can't go fly across the world and not saying I'm even in his category. I can't go compete against Krill. I can't, get in a meet every other week against Spoto as much as I would love to lift against Eric. He's a great guy, great competitor, but he has his goals. Krill has his goals. Everybody has their kind of different agendas until there's kind of maybe some uniformity in the sport. My goal isn't necessarily to be the biggest raw bench presser. It's to be a great bench presser, but to help create other great bench pressers and help the sport carry on as a legacy. Because I'm going to be here another couple years, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. I have no, who knows what's going to happen. But I want to create a legacy and a foundation and a philosophy that can be built upon, that can help grow the sport, not just in benching, just a way of life.
Yep.
Just because what you do on the platform has great carryover, and we have talked about that many times.
So stay tuned. There's more on that coming. What is a good strength builder for triceps and a good mass builder?
Just basic fundamental one-on-one, old school close grip. I think for me and for a lot of people, helps build mass. Your tries are a huge part of your bench. It's 2/3 of your arm. And I think just an overall mass builder is just, close grip. And when I say that, I'm not talking about right here. That is not close grip.
Right. And
I see a lot of benchers get away with, lifting like that. You go to the gym or you see post. This is close grip. Good old fashioned, strengthen your wrist. They feel like they're gonna break. Put some heavy weight on there. Get a spotter. All the way down, touch, come all the way up. Just good old fashioned close grip. Develop the tries more so because you still want to keep, and this is what I think too many people get away from. They get away from the pressing movement. It's great if you can skull crush 1,000,000 pounds. It's great if you can tricep, rope extension with a lot of pounds. But there's something I think that's important about keeping the basic fundamentals of the movement incorporated when you're trying to build mass or go heavy. And for me, it's close grip bench press.
Question for me, what type of conditioning do you do? At the moment, I'm doing very little conditioning outside of doing what I call marching. So I'll put a weight on, and it's marching for time or length, number of steps. When I really want to get in shape, I do a lot of high intensity interval training with prowler, ropes, things of that nature. So you know, usually no more than 10 to 12 minutes total work, and it varies from 1 to 3 to 4 sessions a week, depending on that kind of cycle that is I'm doing that. So works pretty effectively and works very fast. All right. Favorite overall bench and tricep accessory lift that gives the most carryover?
I think we talked. For me, if your gym has it, the seated plate loaded dip machine.
Okay.
Comes down to, like I said, many times you'll hear this with me, risk reward. The risk is very, very low. The reward is you don't have to have a spotter. It's plate loaded. You can overload it. I think if you just hammer yourself out, 2-3 plates, 5, 6, 7 sets of 20 to 50 reps, yeah, your arms aren't going to fall off. If they do, they'll grow back.
Yep. Favorite preventative maintenance exercise for keeping shoulders healthy?
Right now, I'd have to say 2, an oldie and a newbie. The oldie is, for me, it's front isolated shoulder lifts, the straight bar, 45, maybe throw some 10s or some 25s on there. I'd like to do sets of 10 to 30, I go wide, narrow, close. You do sets for faster conversational purposes. You guys can see some of those posts on my Instagram. My new is definitely the Duffin bar. I think it has many different formats and ways it can be used, ways it can be implemented, and don't just take my word for it. I very, very seldom fall in love with new movements, new bars, new equipment. I'm in love. I think I might have an affair with the Duffin bar. I think I might tell Texas to 2-step on out. There's a new bar in town.
I'm glad you're saying something, because the last couple of days he's like, nobody's gonna find out about the Duffin bar. This is my secret.
I wasn't gonna give it away. I was gonna say, this is mine. Don't ship it international. If Krill wants one, he's guys doing 738, probably 750 is next meet. The guy's fine. Give us little guys a chance. Okay, you hear that, Krill? Give us little guys a chance. Don't beat up on the USA too much.
Where in relation to the rings do you guys each grip the bar during competition bench press movements?
We just talked about this with semi lifters. Because there are so many, and it's funny because we just talked about the Duffin bar, Texas bar. There's so many different variations of bars that different federations used. The one thing, I think you need to find a commonality. That's the one thing, is the way the bars are measured and how there's usually no, ridge or rigidness to the inside of the bar. Usually, I think that's about 12 inches, maybe 14. Usually, it's universally the same. The rings, however, are going to vary from bar to bar. So, just for quick reference, I like to can I use your arm? Well,
yep.
His arm's the bar. I find the edge of the ridge. I extend my pinkies all the way out. I lock my ring finger, and then I slide to it. And usually you'll find it's about an inch and a half past the width of your shoulders. I don't go too wide because I lose too much tricep. I don't go too narrow because I'm not incorporating my lats and pecs enough. But to make a long story short, you can't really go off the rings, because universally it's going to be different on every bar. So if you get used to just, going pinky or ring or index finger on the ring, sometimes it's going to throw you off just because the width varies from bar to bar.
Yep. Duffin bars are done correctly at 32 inches. All right. What's your approach on elbow and pec tendonitis? Rest or alternatives?
Me on let me see. preventative care for pecs has always been, and I post this a lot, is it's called pull workout. Monday I do twice a day heavy. So Tuesday, religiously 10:30, I go down to the gym, jump in the pool, get some of those plastic, those floaty weights, and I get in there. And there's no scientific, you don't have to be Michael Phelps about it. It's not that serious. You just get in, you do some movements. I do some flies, I'll do some jogging in place, I'll do some shoulder rotations. What it essentially comes down to is two main factors for me. Is one, the coolness of the pool. I'm trying to get out as much lactic acid as I can. And I'm trying to see how much movement do I have. And this is actually good for the next question. Am I hurt or am I injured? Because I do 3 to 4 days of bench, but very different variations, a week. So on Monday, first thing Tuesday, I want to find out, did I tear anything? Am I sore? Is it just normal fatigue? I want to find that out Tuesday, because if the rest of my benching cycle is Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I want to find out on Tuesday what's bad. And a lot of people, especially if you're guys that are benching twice a week, if you don't do anything to kind of give yourself an assessment of where you're at, you don't find out how hurt you are until you get under the bar again. And you see this happen time and time again. You get under the bar, oh, shit, my shoulder hurts. Okay, let's do back or let's do legs today. Now, not only did you lose a whole bench day, you lost something that could have been preventative by just doing, a little bit of work. You can even, you don't necessarily have to do the shoulder rock the next day. I do it after my pull workout. It's part of my, my workout. But you can find out, just do something to find out, are you hurt? Yep. Do an assessment the next day. And I think a lot of people don't. They're just happy to wake up and to go to the gym and, okay, it's on to the next thing. You have to be smarter than that. You owe it to yourself to do an assessment and find out what's wrong, what's hurt. And, if it's a little bit of soreness, just suck it up. On to the next lift.
Yep. Good question. Should you push your body and train on sick days or rest?
Yes, absolutely. Without a doubt. Especially depending on where you live. If you live any place that has any kind of climate, there's going to be hot, sick, cold, winter. You gotta learn. You gotta be smart about it, but you gotta learn. And this is the thing. You gotta learn to just sometimes just suck it up. Don't lower your expectations. Just suck it up. Michael Jordan had one of his best games with the flu, and it's a well-known, documented fact to this day. And I constantly use that reference because you're gonna have aches. You're gonna have soreness. It's part of the sport. If you can't deal with it, do something else. I mean, be the best bingo player. My grandma's great at bingo. Crochet, something else. If you're worried about sore or lifting when you're sick, but at the same time, you have to listen to your body, but you can't baby your body too much. Yeah. If it means sweat it out, do 20 or 30 minutes of cardio before. But don't, because here's the thing. Like you preach this a lot. It becomes a mental mind state, and it's going to become a crutch. If you're a person that gets sick a lot and you get sick 2 or 3 times during your training cycle, you are setting yourself up for failure based on what you constantly do. So if you let one day turn into 2 days, okay, I'll make it up Saturday, I'll make it up Sunday. I constantly hear that. And then next week rolls around and you're not recovered. Oh, you are allowing yourself to duplicate something that's going to lead you down the wrong path. So suck it up and just learn to work through it. And if you're that sick and you can't get out of bed, well, there you go, problem solved. You're that sick and you can't get out of bed, so going to the gym is probably not at the top of your list of things to do. But if you are up and about, it's want versus need. You want to go to the gym or you need to go to the gym. And that's just a matter of being honest with yourself. Yep. It's not a fashion show. Suck it up. Put on some sweats and go do what you got to do.
Here's who would win in a fight?
Between who?
You and I. I think that's the question.
Oh well, that's a great question. I've seen you'd probably win. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm not. It's an
interesting question because we now both know that we both have a wrestling background and
So quick, and I'm one of those. I always preach speed. Speed out, beats power. So I'm not ashamed to admit it. I mean, the guy looks like Triple H. Who, I mean, come on, who are you gonna put your money on? Do I get a bench press you first?
I'm saying I'm not catching a punch. That's all I'm telling you. I gotta be.
Yeah.
How hard did you laugh when you saw the Rock meme about your failure? So obviously for me,
I'm still laughing when you bring it up.
So obviously, you know, I knew that was gonna, like, I said it happened on Friday, and over the weekend I'm like, well, I gotta post this up, even though it's gonna be, I'm gonna hear like utter nonsense and comments and just, you know, but you know, I'm like, it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised at all when that happened, and you know, some of the nonsense comments and all that have gone on, but that was pretty funny. At first I was a little upset because whoever ripped it didn't, they never cross-linked or, you know, mentioned who I was or did anything. They just grabbed it off my Instagram and put their own stuff on it. And but I contacted everybody involved, and they went back and fixed that as best that they could. So
yeah, and
I'm like, all right, that's fine.
So what had me laugh the most is some of the just blatant, just some of the worst criticism I've ever seen. I mean, people are ripping you. I mean, you still got the single out of it, and it was still 900. What 950? It was 900 something pounds, and I think there was a couple replies on there. Well, there's a guy, you know, that squats 1,000 pounds with a good spotter in Orange County, and he lifts like a castle. I'm not going to name any names, but if you just would have spotters like that, well, yeah, the guy doesn't have his fucking spotters lift for him, and he's not trying to be Instagram famous. The guy's out here doing 900 for a double, and I'll take that over anything.
It was only 845 actually, but
yeah.
But I did come back. I did come back with you back spotting on Monday and hit 850 for a bunch of singles that were nice and beautiful. But,
so give the guy some credit. He doesn't have a team of spotters lifting his lift, and he's not jumping out in front of the camera pounding on his chest, you know, like other people.
Well, I think we're getting down to last question here. So we'll leave this with the very important always question. Favorite whiskey in general? Specifically asking Johnny Black label or Blue Label, I think, for you. So,
you know what? To be honest with you, and I think we can both attest to this. I would have to go. You know, shooting it. I like stuff smooth, and there was actually a couple people that made a comment on that. Why would you shoot Johnny Walker Blue? And for the most part, you diehard whiskey connoisseurs, I get it. I get how you're probably foaming at this question. You're enraged, and how dare you shoot fine whiskey. And this is something we just talked about on the way over here is, you know what, and I'm not taking anything for granted. I have my health. I have the support of my family. I have a lot of good things, a lot of good inspirational people in my life. But make no mistake about it, whether you want to shoot a $200 bottle of whiskey or sip it, if you work your ass off to put yourself in that position to be able to treat yourself to something like that, by all means, if you want to shoot it, shoot it. If you want to sip it, sip it. And I'm not trying to say this in a socioeconomic, I'm better than you type of way. I'm just saying there's some things you just got to learn to live with it and if you've worked your ass off. I came up from nothing. I came up poor, and I think we had a similar background, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's made me who I am. I'm proud to work through everything I have, and you know what? If I want to get filet mignon and cut it up and make tacos out of it, that's what I'm going to do. You know, and to each their own. But sometimes you can't take stuff so seriously, you know. Yeah. So it just comes with the territory.
So for me, I'm big into bourbons. My favorite, my two favorites right now is either a Willet or a Blanton's. So those are my favorites at the moment. So we've got actually, I don't think I showed you the whiskey shelf in the gym. So we've got
we just saw the couple shots, and this is something I'm proud of. If you watch the Instagram, there was only one shot of Johnny Walker Blue that was sacrificed to the ground during that take. We got what, 5 or 6 shots down in 3 takes, so that's a pretty good average. I'll deal with that.
Yep.
You know, I almost cried because I was like, oh, it's Johnny Walker Blue, and I was like, you know, I'll make it. I'll just try harder. And besides, I wasn't the one drinking it, so I just had to lift the 500 pounds.
That's all. 515 pound
with a Duffalo bar
incline to a 2-inch deficit with a Duffalo.
Not easy
and control it with the that was pretty impressive.
To get it done in 1 or 2 takes, I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to sign out. Thanks, everybody, for the questions. Hope you enjoy the little back and forth and answer time. So. And
if you rip his video, give him credit. Damn it, the guy is squatting 900 pounds on a very strict diet. Which don't ask me. I'm glad you guys didn't ask me diet questions because I'm on a seafood diet. I see it and I eat it and then I go lift and I hope it gives me energy.
So Leroy has indeed enjoyed the Portland fine food cuisine while we've been here in our foodie town. So we've been, it's been pleasurable, right?
It's been a great experience.
All right, signing out.
All right.
If you want to maximize your strength and the longevity of your athletic career, or just support the production of further content, click on this video to the link to our store to check out our full line of products.